I'm going to introduce you to the honey badger, and probably everybody knows the honey badger. They've been around, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years maybe, and I just during 2020 I just purchased my first honey badger. I bought 2 of them. I bought a larger worn cleaver version, and this is considered the honey badger medium size, and it comes in D2 steel, and this is a $56 knife. So again, I think you could find it cheaper than $56, but I'm just listing current prices that is with no sale that they are now. So I really like this knife. This knife is a great flipper, and it's very fidgetable, and it's very sharp out of the box. I think I've cut myself on this fooling around. I dyed the scales, and I did some funky dye stuff. Don't ask me to explain it. I probably explained it in the comments in some other video. It was very hard to do, and I probably went about it all wrong. But it turned out fairly decent. I like it. It's better than the tan scales that it was. So, Steel Will Chatbot. And I've never done a video review of this knife. It fell by the wayside. I've had it a long time. I got it in 2020, but I got it like maybe 6-7 months ago. And I just forgot about it. And I've carried it, but I've just never reviewed it. It's in D2. It's a very quality knife. It's like the basic of the basic knives. It's very lightweight. I don't have a weight on me, but it's very lightweight. I don't think there's a scale on this side. There's the steel scale on this side, but I mean it's just G10 on this side. So sorry about the screw up, the flipping. It's not the best flipper out there. If you just try to flip it with no wrist flip, at least with my version of the chatbot, you're so in getting it flipped. You have to so if I didn't give it any wrist flip, so you can mess it up. And sometimes you can't, but I still like that, and I just haven't gotten in there and cleaned it or found out if I can improve the detent. It's on phosphor brown washers. I don't know if you can see them, so there's not on bearings. So, and this knife cost me $60, but again, I think I paid less than that. I probably paid $45, but I got it on a sale. But currently, it's at $60. I wouldn't recommend paying $60 for this. I think it's a $50 or less knife, but I still like it. Next is the Black Fox. They don't have their names for it. It's just a model number. It's the BF746, and it's in a different steel. It's in 440C steel, and it's $60 or $68. But Black Fox knives are a subsidiary of Fox Knives, the Italian company, and I recommend Black Fox knives wholeheartedly. Again, this is a Mikkel Williamson design. I don't follow Mikkel Williamson enough, but it's for some reason every knife I buy through Black Fox is always designed by him. It just lucks out that way. But I like this knife. I really like it. I gave it a review, and I gave it a positive review. I really like this knife. It has a really deep carry, and I don't know. I carried it maybe 2 weeks, but I have so many knives, I can't carry them more than 2 weeks if I didn't want to carry other knives. So anyway, I recommend this knife if you're just starting out. And you can get knives cheaper from other places other than Blade HQ and Knife Center. But if you're going to get it at a Knife Center, it's currently $68. All right. The next knife is the Kershaw Nord, and this is, this was one of my top knives of 2022 or 2020, and I really like this knife. I so wish that they would made this knife in the United States, because I feel if it was made in the United States, it would get more options, like be made with different specs and stuff. But they came out of China, and I'm thinking it will just fly under the radar and probably getting discontinued eventually. But this is a great knife. This blade is the shape, the size of the belly. It's so great, and it's all steel. It would have been better if it was aluminum something, or they've released aluminum knives bodies in this price range or cheaper. So this knife is D2 steel, and this knife costs $70. So it's kind of getting up there, but it's so much worth the $70. It has good ergonomics. It carries very nicely with the deep carry. I can't watch my reviews. I can't say enough good about this knife. If you were starting out and wanted a really good, not expensive, less than $100 knife, I would start with this Kershaw. It's made in China, but it's very good. I mean, a lot of these knives are made in China, but I felt this knife should have been made by Zero Tolerance, and it should have better material. The next knife is the Real Steel Sidus. It's a D2 knife, and it's a $77 knife. I could throw in half a dozen Real Steel knives that I really like that's in the same price range. But the Sidus really, it grew on me. So I think I have 4 or 5 versions of the Sidus. Just the blade. I have like a free version that has no hole. It has a very little hole. It's meant to be opened with 2 hands. And then I have like 3 or 4 versions of the scales. I wouldn't think this knife would have grew on me as well as it has, but it's a very, very comfortable knife to hold, and it's very good in the pocket. And again, it's a deep carry. And some versions, I really like lanyard options. Some versions have a lanyard options, and some don't. The Sidus Free doesn't have a lanyard option in the back, so you can still stick a lanyard through the hole. It's very hard to get it through the hole, but it was very weird that they basically it's the same knife, but they didn't include the lanyard option. So maybe they can't consider the Sidus Free was intended for the European audience, Maybe European, they can't carry lanyards, but it had a clip. So I don't know. I don't claim to know the rules. So, and lastly, this is considered like an old knife, but you can still get it. So they have it went out of production. So I give you the Kershaw Knockout, and due to my laziness in finding my this is the Kershaw Knockout in LMAX steel. So, but I have like 5 or 6 knockouts, and all of the rest of them are 14C28N steel, and it costs $80. So, but this is the Kershaw Knockout and the LMAX steel. So I'm just showing you an example. It basically looks the same. The steel's very different. So this is a original knife. It was made in U.S., but before they started stamping the flag on it. So I have like several versions of the Kershaw Knockout that don't have the flag on it, but they still were made in the U.S. I think they stamp the flag on it nowadays. So this is assisted knife, and normally it made in USA, an LMAX steel. It's the premium steel. So mainly I don't get into carrying assisted knives. I just like the pleasure of flipping them out. Yeah, you could flip them out, but it's assisted. So for some reason, I really like this assisted version of the Knockout, though. I've tried on another version of unassisting my Knockout, and it didn't work. It didn't work so good. So I changed it back to our assisted knife. But I'm not an expert, so I didn't maybe know what I was doing. So I like this knife because it's lefty love. You know, you can tip down left or right and tip up left or right. So they were I'm pretty sure this knife was very popular, and it probably got knocked out through some other releases of assisted knives and that I don't have. But I consider this a very good Kershaw knife, and it's $80 if you buy the 14CN28 or 14C28N knife version of it. But I'm pretty sure you can find it, if you look around, you could find it as low as $50. But honestly, I couldn't find it, the $50 version. But I thought a $50 version exists at one time, but I don't know. Maybe I just looked at Knife Center for prices, and they tend to be very high. So I don't know what I paid for this LMAX. I want to say I paid $130 because it's LMAX steel, and I wouldn't have never paid $130 if I hadn't been a fan of the Knockout and had every version of the Knockout except for Damascus and the LMAX version. And I really don't like Damascus steel, so I didn't get it. But I had to have the LMAX version, and I probably I was probably taken over on eBay as a heat of the moment, and I probably paid $130 for it. But maybe I paid more or less. I don't know. I don't know what it would cost new. So that would be my recommendation. If you can find a $50 Kershaw Knockout. It's a very good knife. It's a very good knife. I used to carry this knife as a backup in my bag. I would carry other knives on me, but I would carry this in the bag that I carry through, like, to work. And I recently replaced this with a ZT 308, and so this knife is kind of retired. All right, hopefully this was helpful, like to someone. Some people emailed me personally asking what you would recommend for a starter knife, and so I put this video together. I realize there's a lot of brands out here that were probably even better, but this is the only knives that I had, so I went based off the knives that I had. So, and as for CRKT, there's a lot of models that are probably even better than this, but I like the looks of this. So, and that goes for Civivi too. There's probably a lot of Civivi knives. So take all that in consideration when you are judging me on my knife selection. Anyway, see, I got 2 new stickers. Big Red EDC and the Knife Beater. So if you're a channel and you've want to swap stickers, let me know, because I'm looking for something to stick them to, because I don't want to stick them to my desk because my cats will eat them, tear them up. So I'm looking for an alternative. But if you want to swap stickers, let me know. I have 3 or 4, 5 designs that I'm willing to trade you just for one of your stickers. So take care, Wastelanders. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye. Hey Paxton, say hello. Say hello, buddy. Come on. Say hello. You see yourself on there? Paxton likes to get on my videos, and he's very persistent today.